Look at us today. We are gathered together as people of all faiths, philosophies, and political persuasions. Our commitment to self-government and liberty remains stronger than ever. In the past 10 years, we have debated issues great and small, held elections that allow us to choose our own leadership, conducted orderly and lawful transitions of power. The people who attacked us 10 years ago thought that because Americans debate and argue in politics, that we are weak, divided, and easily defeated. They made the same mistake that our other enemies have made over the centuries in believing that free speech, freedom of religion, and our defense of individual rights make us weak. Those are not our weaknesses. Those are our strengths. In the past 10 years, we have become painfully aware that we must remain vigilant, and that there are those who see our leadership in freedom and liberty as a mortal threat to their dreams of global totalitarianism. But while America is not oblivious to those threats, we refuse to be paralyzed by them. We refuse to hide in the darkness, to withdraw from the world, and to stop seeking freedom and liberty for all men and women. 10 years ago today, 40 men and women on an airplane showed what Americans will do to protect our republic and the principles of self-government and freedom. Let us resolve on each anniversary of this date to recommit ourselves to that defense and to keep our nation one worthy of their sacrifice. Thank you for being here today. We're a little ahead of schedule here. So I want to just, again, thank everyone for being here. Oh, sure, absolutely. We're going to have a great round of speakers today. And the reason why I'm introducing them a little early is because we have an event time here, and we want to make sure that we hit the timing perfectly. So bear with me for just a moment. You've already met Brad Brandon. He's going to be joining us again shortly. We have Tim Butler, the St. Paul Fire Chief. We have Ken Reed, the St. Paul Police Assistant Chief. We have with us two of our delegation to Washington, our good friends, Senator Amy Klobuchar and Congressman John Klein. Thank you very much both for being here today. We will also have Lieutenant Colonel James Fisher, U.S. Army retired, speaking with us today. Captain Saber Brown, Captain Scholastica Baker, and we will finally finish up with Jeff Dio singing God Bless America to close our service out today. So we are going to have a very fine program for you here today, and again, we thank you for being here. Thank you very much. On the stage with us right now, and I've already introduced the speakers, but on the stage with us right now, the Minnesota Honor Guard was Master Sergeant, on the stage with us right now is Master Sergeant Wendy A. Albee and Captain Saber Brown, Captain Tom Goodrich, retired Army Bronze Star recipient, Command Sergeant Major Robert Stanek of the 372nd Engineer Brigade, and I probably should apologize in advance if I get any of your names wrong here, so bear with me. Lieutenant Colonel Nathan Banks of the 364th POC, Captain Scholastica Baker, and Lieutenant Colonel James Fisher, retired. They're from the Army. From the Marines, Corporal Anthony L. Matza. From the police, I've already introduced Ken Reed, St. Paul Police Assistant Chief. We also have Mark Pettit, Under Sheriff, Court and Security Services Division of the Ramsey County Sheriff's Office. And from the Fire Department, Tim Butler, St. Paul Fire Chief. Let's give them all a round of applause for the appreciation. Now, frankly, even with Gary Borgendale's help, I'm not sure I can vamp for very much longer up here before we get to our moment of silence. We are going to go ahead and move forward with, I'm sorry, we already had the prayer, so we're going to go ahead and move forward with our moment of silence in just a moment. I'm going to go ahead and introduce to you, though, what's going to happen shortly after that. Approaching from the south, we're going to have a flyover in honor of the victims who died on 9/11. And so you'll see them approaching from the south in just a moment or so. When we have that, we will have a moment of silence. We will also want to thank Financial Fortitude for providing the funds for this. They made this possible. These are some of these planes that fly over our two aircraft, and so they can be a rather special occasion. And I am told by hearing that we have a North American T-6 G-Tex that will be part of this flyover. So at this time, I think we'll go ahead and observe a moment or two of silence and observe the flyover when it comes to. Thanks to our friends at Financial Fortitude for providing the funds for that flyover. At this point, I'd like to reintroduce you, Pastor Brad Brandon, who is going to read today's Patriot Day Proclamation.
Patriot Day Proclamation in remembrance of September 11th, 2001 terrorist attacks. In the memory of the victims and heroes of the September 2001, September 11 terrorist attacks against the United States, President Bush has proclaimed that September 11, 2002 be observed as Patriot Day. The following is the text of the Patriot Day Proclamation. Patriot Day 2002. By the President of the United States of America, a proclamation. On this observance of Patriot Day, we remember and honor those who perished in the terrorist attacks of September 11, 2001. We will not forget the events of that terrible morning, nor will we forget how Americans responded in New York City, at the Pentagon, and the skies over Pennsylvania. With heroism, selflessness, with compassion and courage, and with prayer and hope. We will always remember our collective obligation to ensure that justice is done, that freedom prevails, and that the principles upon which our nation was founded endure. Inspired by the heroic sacrifices of our firefighters, rescue and law enforcement personnel, military service members, and other citizens, our nation found unity, focus, and strength. We found healing in the national outpouring of compassion for those lost, as tens of millions of Americans participated in moments of silence, candlelight vigils, and religious services. From the tragedy of September 11 emerged a stronger nation, renewed by a spirit of national pride and a true love of country.